Craig, President and CEO of the Terre Haute Chamber of Commerce. As I just said, we have a sellout crowd. It is our largest crowd ever for this event with 320 people in attendance. So thank you all. Many of the things you're going to hear about today tie back to our community's collective goals: halting population decline and increasing per capita personal income. These key tenets of the CU and Terre Haute Community Plan are helping our community, including the city of Terre Haute, spur growth and success. I made this ask of all of you last year, and I'm going to make it again today. As attendees, you have a responsibility to share the good things that you hear about today, whether it be with a coworker, a neighbor, a friend, whether they live here in Terre Haute or not. Share the good news with them. We have so many accomplishments to be proud of. The programs on the table, as a matter of fact, give you some easy bullet points to use when sharing that information. Take this information, talk about it, be part of the positive change. Also on the sheet in front of you is a QR code that you can use to submit questions to be answered by the mayor after his presentation today. Please scan that code, submit your question, and we will bring the microphone around to each of you. So before we get started with the program, I would like to thank our sponsors who helped make today's event possible. My first round of thanks goes out to our title sponsor for today, Garmong Construction. Garmong and their team is an avid supporter of the community and has been involved in many community projects. Your support is greatly appreciated. Our supporting sponsors: Centerpoint Energy, Dignity Memorial, Duke Energy, Freitag Weinhardt, Ivy Tech, Hannock, the Hometown Savings Bank, State Farm Kelsey Lubavitch Insurance Agency, Sycamore Insurance Associates, Terre Haute Casino Resort, and Rex Baseball. Round of applause for those sponsors. Got a few people I'd like to recognize before we get started. The first of which is the Chamber's Board of Directors who are in attendance today. Would any board members who are here stand and be recognized, including this year's chair, Scotty Scott of Sycamore Insurance Associates. Oh, come on. Recognize a few elected officials who we have joining us today. I'm going to apologize in advance if I miss anyone, and it's a tough crowd to keep track of. I know we have Representative Tanya Paff with us here today. We have, oh, go ahead. I believe we have all three of our Vigo County Commissioners, Chris Schweitzer, Mike Morris, and Mark Linkenbeard. Members of the Vigo County School Corporation Board of Directors, would you all wave? I believe we have Diane Powell here on behalf of Senator Todd Young. I know we also have several members of the Terre Haute City Council. Would you all give a wave as well? City officials that I know the mayor will be recognizing in his remarks in a moment. So now let's move on to the main event. Instead of the traditional introduction of Mayor Sakbun, we all know that he's not traditional in many senses. I'd instead like to use a video his team created with highlights from the past year to provide an introduction. As you'll be able to see, he has jumped into his first year of mayor with a great list of accomplishments already completed and more underway. Now, on to welcome Mayor Brandon Sakbun.
A year ago, we set out on an exciting new journey, fueled by hope and determination. A promise to create a Terre Haute that succeeds, grows, and inspires. Today, that promise is coming to life in ways we can all feel and see. In just 1 year, we've honored the legacy of our past while opening the door to a brighter future. By removing dozens of blighted properties, we've made way for a cleaner, safer city, a city where pride and opportunity flourish in every neighborhood. repairing sidewalks, improving roads, eliminating bus fares. These all represent the steps we're taking to build a Terre Haute where people can move freely and connect with one another. These changes are about more than infrastructure. They're about connecting people to opportunities and bringing our community closer together. We've focused on the places that bring us joy and unity, from revitalizing parks to building new public spaces. We're creating environments where families gather, friends connect, and memories are made. These investments are a testament to our love for the heart of Terre Haute, its people. At the core of our mission, we're creating opportunities by partnering with state and federal programs, attracting private investment, and building relationships with industry leaders. We're strengthening our economy and opening doors for every member of our community. But this is just the beginning. With every grant secured, every neighborhood revitalized, and every new business welcomed, we're building a Terre Haute that's not just growing, it's leading. Together, we'll keep moving forward, driven by our shared commitment to this city we call home. This past year has shown us what's possible when we work as one. Terre Haute is stronger, brighter, and more united than ever. The best is yet to come, and we'll face it together. As a community, as a family, as Terre Haute.
Well, good morning, and thank you for attending this year's State of the City Address. Before I get started, I do want to thank all of our sponsors for making today's address possible. And I also wanted to take out some time to point out the city staff and city council members in attendance today. I hate to do this and put you all on the spot, but if you work for the city of Terre Haute, or if you're an elected member of city government, please stand. Thank you guys for I also want to thank our county officials and, of course, our state officials. Representative Papp, thank you for all the great work you are doing at the State House. It is much appreciated. As you saw in the previous video, this has been a year marked by progress and revitalization. Our accomplishments are not possible without the support of the city staff, the private sector, state and federal officials. Our goals remain the same: halt population decline and reverse the trend of declining per capita personal income. So what have we done this year? The city is focused on building better neighborhoods. This is a concept that integrates city services with housing improvements, public safety, blight elimination, infrastructure improvements, and modern parks. We've been hard at work, collecting hundreds of tons of trash during community cleanups, launching programs like the Trash Task Force and Walkabout Wednesday, and of course, maintaining our core focus of delivering quality services to our community. Much of our success is attributed to what I call the point guard methodology of municipal government. I acknowledge that government has its limits, but when we work with organizations like our faith-based community, the Vigo County School Corporation, our 4 universities, Habitat for Humanity, and Thrive West Central, good things can happen in our community. Our local churches, businesses, and students, they just recently helped my wife and I put on a successful community baby shower, where over 400 bundles were donated to young mothers and fathers and their kids. Habitat for Humanity, they continue to tackle the complex problem of affordable housing one block at a time, with support from Terre Haute Redevelopment and City Engineering. And of course, Thrive West Central, Indiana's Homes for the Future program. They've awarded 460 housing units in our region, a public investment of $3.7 million that's yielded a market value of $106 million. Take that, Carmel, Indiana. To continue highlighting our housing efforts, allow me to transition to our redevelopment department efforts in infill housing. So our Terre Haute redevelopment office has been hard at work. They're going to acquire 110 new parcels this year, whether through the tax sale or donation process, and they currently have 75 on the books. We already have 40 currently committed, and our goal for the end of the year is to get back down to 50, and that's how we ended 2024. To put this in perspective, every single number, every single lot is a vacant lot that turns into a home to welcome a new family, whether they're a younger family or an older family, but a new group to contribute to the city of Terre Haute, Indiana. So to Dean Branson, Phil Kester, and Jordan Marble, thank you for your hard work. And part of our redevelopment efforts include demolition. And I want to be clear on this. This is not the fun part of the job. We hope that every home and every business does not get to a point where demolition is required. At times, demolition is that positive sign of development. It does symbolize new housing, new projects, and new opportunities for our growing community. But in other cases, it is symbolic. It's a symbolic action that represents what is left of a home or a thought being torn down. Our residential demolition projects are eyesores that negatively affect the neighborhoods that they're in. They are shells of homes that have been neglected by the private sector. In just 1 year, we went from about 50 to 60 homes torn down a year to 90. Our goal for 2025 is to increase this to 120. Without the addition of extra funding, we've looked at the judicial process, cost recovery systems, and further collaborations between departments. Our redevelopment office is also hard at work, utilizing our federal HUD funding to improve neighborhoods hit hardest by the inflation, the pandemic, and a myriad of economic factors that have stalled growth. I do want to acknowledge that while HUD funding has become more and more difficult to receive, the total amount does continue to dwindle. And our project in and around the Seabury and Putnam area will take longer than anticipated due to those federal funding changes. This year's plan continues our efforts on 11th and 12th Street, with the ultimate goals being improve this neighborhood through infrastructure and housing developments. Now these next two slides, they've got a lot of words in them, right? But I just wanted to show the total amount of planning, design, and construction projects our engineering office and the city planner are managing. Many of these projects are funded in part by the state and federal government. I cannot say thank you enough to RJL Solutions, Maitri, our city planner, our private engineer partners for all their assistance in these applications, which I'll touch on later in the address. Some of the projects that I want to highlight are Destination Wabash, Thompson Ditch Trail, our two-way traffic and traffic signal modernization plan, and 4 different sewage and drainage studies that are components of our long-term control plan for our sewage system. Design plans, they're fun, but construction is even better. In 2025, we are finally finishing some projects. We're going to finish the Brown Avenue Stormwater Project. We're going to finish the 13th and Wabash intersection. We're paving more streets than in previous years, thanks to an increase in the Community Crossing Grant Program. Again, thank you, Tanya. We're adding more sidewalks, specifically in and around the Lockport Housing and Sarah Scott neighborhood. And we are finally starting the bid process on a long-awaited overpass at 13th and 8th Avenue. Of course, I say all of this and how construction goes, maybe a few of it is delayed. But the best part is we're doing all of this without any tax increases. We're utilizing the funds we have in the bank. We're creating efficiencies. We're partnering with other groups to deliver for the people of Terre Haute without tax increases. Part of how we fund construction and planning projects is grant-based funding. So on this slide, you'll see some of our optional grants that we apply for. We have some that we apply for every year that are not on this slide. HUD funding is a great example. But these are examples of where the city of Terre Haute goes above and beyond. A total of 26 opportunities were reviewed in 2024. They range from private, nonprofit, state, and federal sources. Out of these reviewed opportunities, 14 grants were pursued for application. The city received 7 grants totaling around $9 million. From a renovated YMCA to trail planning that connects our city and county trail networks, the administration is grateful and thankful to our state, private, and federal entities that truthfully believed in a brighter future for Terre Haute, Indiana in 2024. I do want to give a very pointed comment to two groups in the room. The Wabash Valley Community Foundation and our YMCA. They believed in a brighter future. They put time and resources into planning for a brighter future. And by partnering with the City of Terre Haute, we will be able to deliver a renovated YMCA to transform and begin our riverfront revitalization program. The work that those organizations has done will be remembered for years. We're going to continue our efforts in 2025 to pursue grant opportunities that propel our city forward. Allow me to pivot from construction and planning to public safety. Our Terre Haute Police Department relentlessly pursues criminals to enforce a community of law and order. Some of our yearly metrics went down, and some did go up. But what is important to note, for each instance of violent crime, the department found a way to apprehend the suspect, utilizing technology like flood cameras and over 9 partnerships with state and federal law enforcement agencies. The Terre Haute Police Department is prepared at all times to interdict, prevent, and apprehend those who wish to do harm in our city. Some FBI changes in data collection, they do skew our city's crime rankings. But I think the important message here on this slide is that our department continues to recruit the state's best. That's evident with 159 registered test takers for only 6 spots on the Terre Haute Police Department. We continue to apprehend criminals, and we continue to engage with our community by doing over 200 community events in just 1 year. Our success from a police perspective includes the social worker program. In 2024, JARM received 328 individuals in terms of the case management process. 30% of those moved on to successful treatment. This program has allowed for increased ability in crisis intervention and increased efficiency in the resources from our partner organizations like Hamilton Center. Utilizing opioid settlement funding, we are expanding the program in 2025. We received dozens of applications for our second social worker, and Chief Barrett and the entire staff has found the right candidate, who will begin in the coming weeks. This is further evidence that in today's modern frustration surrounding law enforcement, the City of Terre Haute continues to deliver by supporting our police officers with new programs like the Social Worker Initiative and other programs like increased resources and equipment to do their job. Another key component of public safety is our EMS and fire department. These hardworking men and women had 14,692 incidents in 2024. Over 70% of those were EMS ambulance related. We've been addressing staffing. Just like last year, this year we will welcome new recruits, and 10 will be joining the department soon. The department is seeing improvements in their facilities like generators, updated HVAC systems, and garage doors, and funding's been provided through the sale of surplus equipment and the American Rescue Plan. The department will be hosting a fire ops class this year where local elected officials and some of our state reps will be able to fight fires for the day. I'm personally looking forward to this. I will be challenging City Council member AJ Dinkle for the spot to be the best firefighter for the day. I think Cheryl Loudermilk will give me a run for my money, but we'll see how it turns out. I'm beyond proud of both our public safety departments. This work is daunting, and they continue to rise to the occasion every call for service. Continuing the theme of opportunities for our community, it'd be wrong not to discuss workforce development. This is a key opportunity for West Central Indiana to show the state and the world that we are open and ready for business. Greg Lee, our new executive director at Work One, has done a tremendous job partnering with the Chamber, partnering with the Terre Haute EDC. And we'll be hosting a regional employment and opportunity fair March 14th right here. When it comes to retaining and attracting talent, West Central Indiana's talent network continues to expand on programs like the Connect in Indiana West Central program, and of course the intern experience, which the city is a partner in. Our goal is simple: We want to go through all these programs and be able to maintain an approximate number of Hoosiers looking for employment in West Central Indiana. We use this as a recruitment tool when we meet with new businesses and current businesses when they talk about expansion. Another opportunity for our community is tourism. We saw record-breaking numbers in growth in 2024. The innkeeper tax revenue marks the highest annual total in Vigo County history, with a 6.83% increase. A new website showcases all that the Terre Haute and Convention Visitors Bureau has to offer. Some of the highlighted events for 2025 is our IEDA Spring Conference, the Special Olympics, and several cross-country meets at the Laverne Gibson Cross Country Course. Their goals are directly in sync with the City of Terre Haute. Number one, expand tourism opportunities. We want to drive tourism, not just the ways we have been, but adding to some of our services by prioritizing sports and outdoor recreation through strategic partnerships with the city, county, local colleges, all with the focus of fostering a new destination experience. We want to strengthen Terre Haute's national sports presence. We've got the Division I NCAA National Championship, and in 2027, the Division III Cross Country National Championships, all coming to the city of Terre Haute. Therefore, we will invest in key infrastructure updates in 2025, ensuring that Terre Haute remains a premier host for national events. We want to enhance the visitor experience for Hoosiers and folks from surrounding states when they come to Terre Haute, Indiana. We do this by collaborating with attractions, businesses, and organizations to develop a distinct visitor experience tailored to leisure travelers, businesses, and conference attendees. Of course, we want to amplify Terre Haute's regional and national brand. We do this by elevating Terre Haute's recognition as a leading Midwest destination through dynamic and targeted marketing campaigns. We'll continue to modernize the Terre Haute Convention and Visitors Bureau Center, so that way when you stop, you've got a state-of-the-art center to see all that we have to offer in our community. And lastly, we're going to strengthen regional collaboration. We'll collaborate with our partners at West Central Indiana to increase awareness about the economic impact across our region when we bring in tourists here to Terre Haute, Indiana. Part of tourism and workforce development is accessible public transportation. In 2025, we moved to a fare-free transit system. As you can see from the graph to my left, it has already yielded positive results thus far. Keep in mind, in 2025 January, we operated 3 fewer days than in January 2024. So even in that reduction of total days, we still saw an increase in ridership by 52.5% in the first month of this program. Because we offer fare-free transit, more people have access to jobs, healthcare, and their daily needs. It reduces barriers for residents while improving transit efficiency. We have some smaller goals for 2025, like improving our bus stops, and the city's working with several student groups, of course at Indiana State University, to assist with creating additional marketing materials and a promotional campaign for the bus system. This will help spread the word about Terre Haute Transit. We often get requests to adjust hours and routes. To do that, we must first increase ridership. And I know that sounds counterintuitive, but the state and federal funding formulas surround around ridership and mileage. So we'll game the system so that way we can expand over the next 2 to 3 years. The City of Terre Haute hopes to improve all of this over a 3-year time span. Lastly, to our riders and of course our transit team, Debbie, she's here, she's our transit director. We can't say thank you enough. From the bus drivers to the mechanics to the administrative staff, this has been a huge change to go from fares to no fares. And they've handled it with grace and humility and done an excellent job. So thank you to the Terre Haute Transit Department. One of the key funding mechanisms for public transit is gaining revenue. Gaining revenue is providing the city with opportunities to transform parks, update infrastructure, improve city departments, and of course, pave more streets. Consistent with how we testified at the State House, these funds are used for transformational projects. A great example is the renovated YMCA. Another example is our 10-year sidewalk initiative. And of course, we've all experienced that thing called snow that I cannot stand. It does include updating things like our snow plows. As previously mentioned throughout the address, our Parks and Recreation Department are undergoing significant transformations in 2025. From partnerships and programming to updating neighborhood parks. We've expanded on some current programs, like the Tea Party Park in College Park. I did not attend the Tea Party, didn't know anything about it, but I'll be attending this year because it's actually got a great following and provides an opportunity for individuals to enjoy one of our neighborhood parks. Purdue Extension, they started kids cooking and yoga in the park at Deming Park. Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology, their student civil engineers are helping us design the new parks. We're bringing back some old favorites with some new twists as well. Tennis and pickleball lessons will be held across our city park system. The adult Easter egg scramble is back by popular demand, and a fish frenzy event. In terms of that 5-year master plan we talked about last year, we're finally seeing some of that construction this year. Of course, the Ray Park Clubhouse renovation is underway, and we're going to begin on planning for phase 2, updating the parking, the tennis courts in that area, and of course that partnership with the county in terms of trails. Hertz Rose Park, that community center and splash pad remain under construction. And in development, we have the Mayor's Youth Council working on the Coy Park, our Deming Park pool renovation, the Fairbanks Master Plan construction of phase 1, and the Vigo County YMCA renovation. These are all good projects that will continue to grow our community, allow our youth and our seniors opportunities to go outdoors and embrace nature. Downtown Terre Haute's continued improvements showcase the city's efforts to improve quality of life. With new construction starting this year and our new DORA, thank you City Council, it is clear that the city's efforts are leading to direct results. We've got capital projects like construction on the old police station. We've got new hotels and restaurants at 7th and Wabash. We've got Josh Elsett running around who's about to install 84 signs downtown saying this is where you can drink a beverage if you're 21 or older. And of course, we have the infamous crow analysis that we're doing to try to figure out why there's so much bird poop on our sidewalks. Look folks, there's a lot going on downtown. From pizza, drinks, of course Sycamore basketball, it is an important component of our city's storied history and our city's future. Most of these accomplishments would not be possible without a strong advocacy team that integrates state, federal, and private partners. RJL has been pivotal in facilitating those partnerships. Our federal and state priorities remain similar to last year: defense, infrastructure, economic development, mental health, and child care. But we are starting to see some direct results, like Senate Bill 382, authored by State Senator Craig Good, that received unanimous bipartisan support, which creates a local funding mechanism for our school corporation without a property tax increase. Equally as important, defense infrastructure continues to be a theme. We see this in the state budget and hope to see it in the federal budget soon. Regionalism. Regionalism remains a top priority for the city of Terre Haute. We're creating an action-oriented network of local leaders in the region who plan and advance West Central Indiana together. What does that mean? That means that county commissioners, mayors, city councils, county councils, and of course the private sector frequently meet to discuss problems like infrastructure investments, conversations with NDOT, and ways to recruit companies like Intech to our region. Across the state of Indiana, the regions that form a strong team and work together continue to outperform those who try to do it on their own. We refuse to do that now. So we take a team approach when we go to the State House, when we go to DC, and continue to advocate for programs that help Sullivan, Indiana, that help Brazil, Indiana, and even Park County, because there's more in Park County than maple syrup. You got to tell folks in the Hoosier State because they've got a certain image of our region and what we offer. We're starting to see direct results already. We've implemented a child care plan. We've created programs that foster leadership and a talent pipeline. Our marketing has improved. And of course, in the state budget, there's now an opportunity to invest in bases like the 181st. These are all positive signs, not just for the city of Terre Haute, but West Central Indiana at large. In closing, this has been a year marked by progress. We came on the stage and said, here's what we're going to deliver for the people of Terre Haute. Blight elimination, housing, strong public safety, new parks. I'm happy to stand up here today and say thanks to the 600 employees with the city of Terre Haute, a number of private and nonprofit business leaders right here in this room, and of course our county partners and city council. We have delivered for the city of Terre Haute. And I'll end with this. I started this address saying we had to work on population. I've done my part. I see a lot of young people in the room. I need you to do your part too. And make sure you go to Dr. Sakbun if you need help. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Mayor. We have time for a few questions that have been submitted through our form online. First, I'd like to say thank you to Brady Kearns for allowing us to test out this wonderful cube mic today. So first we're going to go to John Collette to ask a question about education. And John, this is the first ever throw with this mic, so this is pretty important.
Mayor, you touched on it very briefly on the advocacy slide about what's going on in the state legislature and our opportunity to possibly collaborate with the county and the school corporation to improve our school facilities. Can you expand a little bit more on that and why it's important and the importance of our facilities as it pertains to talent attraction and retention and how we're going to move forward or how we're trying to move forward?
That's a great question, John. So as this room is very well aware, a couple of years ago, this community was shown a plan to reinvest in our schools, to put our kids first. And unfortunately, the voters said no. So we were down on our luck and we thought, how do we get this across? Because the schools didn't get better just because someone said yes or no to a plan. The county commissioners and the county's done a great job of looking at how they can utilize some of the funds that they already had in the bank. So without a property tax increase, we're working to create a vehicle and a board for accountability to allow some of those dollars that the county has to be used to bond out for some projects for the school corporation. To me, that's a win-win. You've all already been taxed. We have money in one account. Let's cut some of that government bureaucracy out of the way and find a way for one unit of government to be able to give it to another. I've been at the State House a couple of times the last 2 years, and walking in and seeing so many people say yes to that bill is truthfully inspiring. We're finding a way to address our challenges at the local level, and as my good friend Bob Heaton says, you don't come with one hand out to Indianapolis. So we came with a plan ourselves, and we look forward to hopefully seeing it in fruition. To the school board and the school corporation, thank you for being innovative. So many school boards will kind of sit on their hands and say, oh, we don't know what we want to do and call it a day, but you guys have been very active in this process. You're reviewing different plans and proposals, and you're proving to the community that yes, we're going to try something new, but if we all do it together, it'll turn out okay. So thank you for that question, John.
All right, our next question is from Karen Dyer, Executive Director of the Terre Haute Convention and Visitors Bureau.
So last year you adopted Paradise, taking kind of what maybe some people thought was a negative and making it into a positive.
Yeah.
What's next for the city's brand, Terre Haute's brand? Where are you going with that, and how can we work together on that?
So Terre Haute, a level above, I think started when I was in like 4th grade. So truth be told, it needs a refresh. So a couple of folks from the city staff, some folks from your office, RJL's helped facilitate some other community partners. We are looking at updating that city logo and what it symbolizes. Yes, we've got a city seal, but we want to have that logo to showcase some of the positives that we have here in our community. I am not a creative guy. Everything to me should be in Times New Roman font, size 12, bold. So when it comes to creative logos, I'm actually very hands-off, and I let people who are a little bit more artistic go about their lives and design that. So we're looking forward to a new city logo that we will showcase with our new city website. The current city website is a little bit clunky. It's difficult to navigate. And what we need to do is make it easy for any individual in the city of Terre Haute to check and see what's on the city council agenda, to check and see if there's any new updates for street sweepers or trash pickup, to figure out all the great work that Kylie and Eddie are doing on our parks, and to get that number for a non-emergency, to call Chief Barrett or Chief Scott over at Police and Fire. So by integrating a new logo and a new website, we're going to deliver a user experience that's been unseen here in Terre Haute in terms of municipal government. Thank you, Karen.
All right, and then I have a question for you, Mayor, regarding the DORA. And I was gonna ask you what makes you think I'm gonna go out there and put all 84 signs in. That's probably more something offline we'll talk about later. But can you give some more insight into how the DORA will help downtown Terre Haute and our community as a whole feel like a college town?
Yeah, well, I think it'll really feel like a modern community town, not just a college town. So yes, this state can be slow sometimes at addressing challenges. We just did Sunday sales for alcohol just a few years ago. And then the state legislator said, I think it makes sense that if you're 21 years old, you can go in a public right-of-way in a confined area and finish the drink that you were legally served in the bar. So what the DORA does is it allows us to set that confined area, set those parameters, and let businesses choose to opt in and choose to serve someone who is leaving their establishment and going to be in the street. Why it really matters is because in Terre Haute we do so many downtown events, a ton with Indiana State University. A great example is the Eclipse and all the hard work that the Children's Museum did on that. And as we continue to see more and more outdoor markets, music festivals, I don't think we're going to see another eclipse anytime soon, but that's a great example. We have more opportunities to leverage that DORA and provide a good experience for Hoosiers, not just in Terre Haute, but across the region.
Then we have a question regarding economic development infrastructure. Michael Taylor, will you raise your hand for me?
Over here, Josh.
Oh, awesome. I won't throw it this far. Brady said I have about a 5-foot limit. Can you raise your hand?
Mayor, the presentation highlighted ambitious projects and initiatives for Terre Haute's future. Can you elaborate a little on the financial structure behind the plan, specifically how would the city balance the funds and these developments and maintaining fiscal responsibility, and plans to leverage grants, public-private partnerships, or potential tax adjustments to cover the cost?
Yeah, that's a great question. So as it pertains to infrastructure specifically, streets are a great example that's partially funded by state government. So the state government created the Community Crossing Grant Program, where if we invest $1.5 million, they give us $1.5 million to increase our total investment to $3 million. When it comes to sanitary sewage, stormwater, and wastewater, there's 3 financial means to do this. The first is the obvious one, which is your sewage bills and the funding in that. Our goal is to use the cash on hand to start some of those projects and finish them. We're currently under what's called an EPA mandate. So by the next 28 years, we've got to have a complete combined sewage overflow plan that is fully executed. The only way to do that is with a rate increase. However, we're going to use the tools we have today to push that rate increase down the line as long as possible. The third funding mechanism is through our TIP districts. So we do a lot of projects through what's called tax increment financing districts. These are districts where you capture the growth in taxes in one region and use it to create a project that adds to the tax base. A great example is the New Margaret project that we're looking to start this summer, which brings, I can't believe they call it New Margaret and Margaret, but it brings the street behind the casino with all the utilities needed. So that way those parcels around that can grow and develop. We're also using that fund to connect some of the water lines out there in a partnership with Indiana American Water. We're doing a number of downtown TIP projects as well that surround around economic development as well as infrastructure. Infrastructure is the #1 thing that's hampering economic growth right now in the Hoosier State, in my personal opinion. Great example is the problems with water, natural gas, and how it pertains to electricity as well. Here regionally and locally, we use those 3 financing methods to advance our cause, all with the ultimate goal being grow the tax base instead of having to increase taxes? Thank you for that question.
Thank you, Mayor. That's all the questions that we have. So let's give the mayor one more round of applause.
Thank you, Mayor. Great information you were able to share this morning. I want to again thank all of our sponsors for your support today. It really helps us bring this event to life, and I think it's a critical aspect of our community where we can share this information. I also want to thank the Chamber team for their hard work in making today happen, especially Jonathan Eilrock, who's been over here manning our PowerPoint, who really was critical in helping pulling the presentation together. 2 quick announcements before I let you go today. Registration is now open for Connect in West Central Indiana. That's on the back side. There's information about on the back side of the handout at your table. That is our program that's geared towards helping you as businesses attract and retain top talent. We would love to have, our cohort starts very soon. We'd love to have a great showing in this. Our first cohort, I think we have several people who graduated from that in the audience today. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask any member of the Chamber team about that. And also, please join us on March 14th for the Regional Employment and Opportunity Expo. We're working in conjunction with Work One as well as the City of Terre Haute to bring that right here to the Convention Center. Booths for businesses are still available if you have not yet secured one. Again, thank you all for attending today, and happy Friday.